Secretary Rumsfeld, nice to have you with us today.
Thank you, Jenna.
We knew in Libya there were many different departments at work. It wasn't just the Defense Department, the State Department, and other agencies and the like. But if you were at Leon Panetta today, you're the Defense Secretary today, what is the way forward and what is the role of the military, if any?
Well, the first responsibility, obviously, is the Department of State has to see that there's appropriate security at an embassy. Now, you can't always be right, but in this case, it was a serious mistake not to respond properly to the requests for additional security, and the proof of that, of course, is we had 4 Americans, including the ambassador, killed. The Department of Defense does not make those decisions. What it does is it responds to requests from the Department of State and to requests from the White House and the National Security Council and the President. And I know that the Department of Defense has capabilities, and they have the ability to position them in various locations so that they can be able to respond within reasonable periods of time. But what has to be decided is through the Department of State and through the Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, what kinds of requests for embassy support are going to be issued and made to the Department of Defense and the President.
It sounds like a bureaucratic mess, just trying to coordinate all of that. Is it, I mean, are we still in that place, though? Well, that's one of the criticisms post 9/11, though, was that the different departments weren't communicating.
Because of what happened in Benghazi makes any sense. And I say that because there clearly were requests for additional security by the U.S. ambassador. And they were not responded to in a manner that provided sufficient security to protect the 4 people that were killed. Now, going forward, I don't think it's a bureaucratic mess at all. You have to have one department in charge of providing security for embassies, and that's the Department of State, by law.
Does all the onus here in this situation happening the way that it did fall on the State Department?
Posture of apologizing or withdrawing or pulling back or diminishing our role encourages other people to fill that vacuum. And nature abhors a vacuum. And the people that will fill that vacuum are people that do not have our values and do not have our interests. And I have no doubt But that is the case, that's what's taking place in the world today.
So you're the guy responsible for shock and awe, right, in Baghdad. We're going to go in tough, we're going to go in strong. In this situation here in Libya, have we missed an opportunity because no one's been brought to justice?
Well, that's hard to do. I don't fault the administration for not being able to find out we know the organization that's taken credit for the attack against our embassy. And the same organization is taking credit for attacks in other countries like Tunisia. But
had 4 debates, 3 presidential debates and 1 vice presidential debate. The president's been looking for a plan. He's been looking for some way to help the gentleman I spoke about, some way to help 23 million people that are out of work. He hasn't been able to find a plan. He hasn't been able to define what he's going to do to make America strong going forward. I have a plan that will create 12 million jobs to rise and take over, and I'm going to help that man who needs that good job.
especially under these circumstances.
Wait.
If someone's breaking If someone's breaking in, brandishing a gun, if the husband walks in and says, you're messing with my mind, and I'm going to come after you,
Change the law?
shoot him dead. Because wait, are you getting the gun coming in and killing the guy in the garage?
It's like you can't, the law seems to be saying you can't even just have a confrontation. You can't confront somebody who is having an affair with your spouse. If it's anywhere on their property, you can't do it.
Yeah, it's that clear. And if Mercedes is calling for a change in the law, it's because I think she's conceding that under the current law, you, number one, cannot go onto someone's property. If this happened across the street,
And the penalty of doing so is the death penalty. The death
I didn't
penalty.
write the law. Yes, I didn't write it. That's the law, baby.
Mark, I think
It
that's
is
it.
now.
Well, you know
Right
what?
now.
It's the interpretation of the law because some of these council documents
And,
don't stick. This one has different circumstances. If you want to be involved, you're not connecting with the law.
Let me ask you